My name is Sophia Taylor, a girl as ordinary as can be, yet I unexpectedly got caught up in a wealthy family's turmoil. Alex Johnson is a business tycoon worth billions, controlling the fates of many. Evan Williams is the leader of the global shipping industry. His words can influence the operation of the entire world. These two are brothers by blood, but to outsiders, they appear to be irreconcilable rivals. As for me, I spend my days swiping credit cards and having fun everywhere with my closest sister, Lily Anderson. Life was quite comfortable until their adopted sister, Emily Davis, returned from abroad. Some people privately say that Emily is the unattainable dream girl in the hearts of these brothers. That day, I was sitting on the sofa watching short videos when Lily suddenly sent a voice message saying, "Sophia, shall we run away together?" I felt a rush of excitement. She really was in sync with my thoughts. I had hidden several boxes of cash. We could leave together. The plan was set. I grabbed my suitcase and excitedly ran towards the airport, my mind filled with images of freedom. As soon as I stepped into the cabin, I froze. This was not an ordinary passenger plane, but Alex's excessively luxurious private jet. He lazily leaned back in the leather chair, legs crossed, with a hint of a teasing smile at the corner of his mouth. "Hey cutie, where are you planning to go?" That night, at the end of the hallway in Alex's house, I heard distant sounds of an argument. Lily's voice trembled a little, as if she was about to cry. She asked Evan why he always supported her. "I only touched the box on your desk, thinking it was for me, but I didn't realize it was for Emily." I hid to the side, feeling extremely nervous, listening intently. Evan's voice was cold as he said Emily was his sister and told me not to make wild guesses or touch her things. "You don't believe me, and you're actually angry for her." I didn't dare to make a sound, feeling that this scene was just like a cliched plot from a TV drama. Evan was silent for a moment, but his footsteps kept getting closer. The door suddenly swung open, and he walked out, almost causing me to bump into the corner of the wall. "Hey, good evening." I forced a couple of smiles and waved to try to hide my embarrassment. He glanced at me, and his face immediately broke into that familiar polite smile. "Good evening, sister-in-law." I returned to the room, carefully closed the door, and pulled Lily to sit on the sofa. "Lily, what just happened?" "I could hear you two arguing from afar." She shook off her earlier almost tearful expression, pouted, and looked completely indifferent. This person is really a hypocrite. As soon as I said a word about him, his true nature was revealed. I blinked and asked, "Did you hear about it too?" "Of course, even the lady at the door is spreading the news that Emily is going back to her country." I slapped my thigh. "She is a treasure in the eyes of those two brothers." Lily snorted, saying she heard they almost fought over her back in the day. We locked eyes, our understanding as perfect as two colliding Mars. She leaned in and quietly asked me if I had saved some money. Should we leave together? I gave a sly smile and replied that I had cash ready too. "Let's run away together." She looked at me seriously, her eyes shining with contemplation. "Are you really willing to leave behind someone as significant as Alex? He could provide you with a good life, you know. It really feels like such a waste." I rolled my eyes. It seemed like he lost his mind when he was chasing me. Wasn't it just because I resembled Emily a bit? Now that the real deal is back, why should I keep this fake? Should I just wait to be left in a warehouse collecting dust? Lily laughed, and we both slapped our thighs, instantly making a decision. That night, we gathered under the light, staying up late like we used to in college, until our eyes were dark from fatigue, and we crafted a perfect escape plan. Every step was meticulously designed, just waiting for the right moment. So amazing, I'm truly a genius. Lying in bed, I recalled that plan and couldn't help but laugh so hard my shoulders shook. As long as I can continue to eat, drink, and chat with Lily, gossiping about everything, my life feels fulfilled. Back in the day, I was just a nerd staying at home playing video games. I never expected Alex suddenly became particularly interested in me and dragged me to his house. At that family dinner, his assistant whispered, "This girl really resembles Emily." My mind suddenly buzzed, and I realized I was just a substitute. Fate really loves to joke around. At first, I wanted to hold on, even considering jumping off the balcony. Until that family dinner when I met Lily. She has been my good friend since childhood, and 6 months ago, she married Evan due to family reasons, after which we lost contact. "Lily, I've been looking for you and I'm almost going crazy." In the banquet hall, everyone looked at us in surprise, while we hugged and cried like long-lost refugees. Later, I realized that Alex and Evan are actually biological brothers, one taking their father's surname and the other taking their their mothers. People were saying they had a bad relationship, but it was actually a performance meant to mislead others. I looked at Alex, smiling sweetly. All right, I've decided to stay. Hey, what are you laughing about? Your lips are all wet. In the middle of the night, I drowsily heard Alex's deep voice. He had just returned after handling something and looked a bit tired. He came over and gently wiped my mouth with his finger. I was still dreaming and smiling foolishly. He didn't say anything, silently turned around, and lay down. His strong arms easily lifted me into his embrace, and my face pressed against his solid chest. The warmth seeped through my skin, and I became slightly more awake. Forget it, it's nice to take advantage before leaving. I woke up the next day, and it was already 10 in the morning. Surprisingly, Alex, who is usually incredibly busy, was still here. He was leaning against the headboard, playing with a camera. Photos were popping out of the camera, and he kept shaking the pictures in his hand. What are you looking at? I rubbed my eyes and walked over. The photo showed me from last night, sleeping on his chest with drool all over, quite a funny sight. I angrily rolled over and curled up in the corner of the bed. He chuckled softly, saying he did this to make me remember, otherwise I might throw a tantrum when I woke up. Before he finished speaking, he reached out and pulled me back, kissing the corner of my mouth. This person always exudes a refreshing woody scent, which is particularly attractive. By the way, Emily is returning home tomorrow. Come with me to pick her up. I suddenly felt nervous inside, but I kept my composure on the outside. Oh, tomorrow, a friend has asked me to go to the doctor. He raised an eyebrow slightly, his gaze carrying a hint of scrutiny. I hurriedly explained, don't misunderstand, it's a female colleague, she has no friends here and can only rely on me. Alex is very cautious around men but quite lenient with women. He thought for a moment and said, okay. Come back early and be safe. He paused and added, the flu is quite severe lately, remember to wear your mask when you go to the hospital, and don't take it off. I nodded, thinking that this man can be quite caring sometimes. Unfortunately, I can never shake off the stain of being a substitute. What good luck. The night before the escape plan, Alex was busy with something and didn't show up all night. While walking the dog, I took the opportunity to send away 2 large boxes full of clothes ahead of time. But when the agreed time came, Lily still had not appeared. I anxiously waited for an hour, then another hour. I called, but it was always a busy signal. I was bored and scrolling through my phone when I suddenly saw a push notification for an entertainment news article. Lily looks very tired in the camera, with a hint of anger in her eyes. Emily, the adopted daughter of the Williams family, has returned home. What kind of impact will this talented dance princess bring? I'm really curious about her relationship with her 2 brothers. I suddenly understood. Lily couldn't escape. She must have been pulled by Evan to pick up Emily. I'm really angry inside. I just want to scold this little brother-in-law. A few days ago, Emily had a huge fight with my wife, and today she forced Lily to meet the person in her heart. This man is really unbearable. A large group of people returned home for dinner. Emily was smiling brightly, like a champion who just won a gold medal, while Lily stood behind her, her face empty, as if she had lost something. I watched videos all afternoon and realized that Emily has been very high profile since getting off the plane, deliberately causing trouble for Lily. She glanced at me, her eyes blinking, in a particularly sweet tone. Oh, this must be my sister-in-law? She's more mature than I expected. I squinted my eyes, leaned closer to her, and pretended to care. Oh, so this is little Emily. A long-haul flight for over 10 hours must have been tough. Look at your skin, it's as dry as autumn tree bark, and the lines at the corners of your mouth are so deep. Life abroad must be hard for you, right? Her proud little face instantly stiffened, as if she had been splashed with cold water. But having experienced a lot, her eyes immediately turned red, looking at Alex and Evan with a pitiful expression. Brothers, is my sister-in-law unhappy with me? Did I do something to upset her? Evan lowered his head and said nothing, but Alex's expression was dark, as if a storm were about to come. Sophia, I think I've been too lenient with you lately. You don't think before you speak. Go apologize to Emily. I slightly shrugged my shoulders, pretending to be a bit shy. Little Emily, I haven't finished my words yet. I suddenly grabbed Lily's wrist and started running. Your hair is as dry as straw, and your hairline is receding quite a lot. You you should change your hairstyle. How dare you bully my sister and still expect me to admit my mistake? These three people are truly disappointing. Alex and Evan are busy preparing a welcome party for Emily, so they can't pay attention to us for now. Lily was so angry that her face turned red, and she dragged me to a corner to complain for a whole hour. She said Emily's demeanor is really uncomfortable, as if every word she says is implying something. But Evan seems completely oblivious. Despite all the grievances Lily has endured, he doesn't care at all. She sighed helplessly, her words revealing exhaustion. Forced relationships lack true love. I gritted my teeth and agreed, saying we shouldn't hesitate and should hurry to run, or else we just become their supporting characters. So we sat down again and reorganized our plan. Today's opportunity didn't succeed, but tomorrow Emily has a very important dance performance. Alex and Evan will definitely come to support her. This time we absolutely cannot make any mistakes. It was already late at night, and Lily and I were still carefully revising the details under the light. Unexpectedly, when I looked up, I found Alex still awake, leaning against the headboard with a seemingly deep gaze. I felt a bit flustered and quickly collapsed softly onto the bed. Ugh, how did I still catch the flu even while wearing a mask? I deliberately acted weak, like a flower that has no spirit after being blown by the wind. Alex frowned and reached out to touch my forehead. I reacted quickly, taking out the thermometer I had prepared in advance, which showed 38.9 degrees. I hoarsely said, "Don't get too close. Don't let me infect you." He stared at me, his tone somewhat angry, saying, "How foolish. Why come to the hospital when you're clearly fine? Are you satisfied now?" In the next moment, he hugged me from behind, his arms wrapped tightly around me as if he wanted to press me closely to his chest. "Have you taken your medicine?" "Yes, I have. It's so hot, my body temperature is low. Leaning here helps cool me down a bit." He held my hand, his fingertips gentle like a spring breeze. This tone is completely different from the cold man who forced me to apologize earlier. I could feel his heartbeat in his chest quickening slightly. "Then I won't go to her performance tomorrow," he softly replied, "All right, just stay home and rest obediently." I was silent for a few seconds and cautiously asked, "You won't blame me for making Emily feel embarrassed, will you?" He let out a soft hum, a teasing smile on his face. "Don't get too carried away. You made me uncomfortable in public, and once you're better, you still have to apologize first." I knew it. There's nothing to expect from this man. Lily finally met me on time. Her eyes were red and puffy, like two ripe peaches. "What happened? Did he bully you again?" I was so anxious that my voice trembled a bit. "Humph. Is he really that kind of person?" She laughed disdainfully for a moment. "I had a fight with him yesterday, cried half the night, and finally got him to give me the cold shoulder today. Otherwise, I'd have to go with him to watch that Green Tea Girls performance." While walking the dog, she quietly moved her luggage away. We quickly got into a taxi and smoothly arrived at the airport. Everything was going according to plan smoothly, but just half an hour before we were supposed to board, Lily suddenly rushed into the bathroom clutching her stomach. I waited anxiously at the door, and after a while, she sent me a text. "Sophia, there's not much time left. You get on the plane first. I'll be there soon." Why am I getting diarrhea at a time like this? I really don't know what she ate that was off. I'm really helpless. My luggage is already checked in. I can't miss the flight. If I get caught at the airport and the flight gets delayed, all the plans will be ruined. All right, hurry up. There's only 15 minutes left to board before takeoff. While carrying my 2 bags and holding Lily's 2 big bags, I rushed desperately towards the boarding gate. After checking the tickets, I quickly passed through the jet bridge and walked into the cabin, panting. Why does this plane feel a bit strange? I stopped in my tracks, my mind still not catching up. I glanced around. The entire cabin was empty, except for one figure. Alex was sitting in the front row, his legs casually crossed, wearing a smirk on his face. "You're here, little darling. Tell me, how should I treat you?" I accidentally jolted, and the bag in my arms fell to the floor. Alex personally blocked the door. "What's going on with Evan and Lily? Have they been caught again?" His eyes darkened as he coldly said, "So what? The young mistress of the Williams family has run away. Do you think my brother won't be anxious? He emanated a chill that made me feel as if I had been scratched by a knife. He suddenly grabbed my wrist and pulled me outside. His grip was strong, like a pair of iron pliers tightly clamping me. I was in so much pain that I couldn't help but cry. "Let me see Lily," he said, a cold smile appearing at the corner of his mouth. "Do you think you still have a chance to see her again? My name is Sophia Taylor, born into a family that values males and neglects females. I have a pampered younger brother, and since I was little, I've felt like an unnecessary shadow. During my not-so-happy childhood, only Lily was like a ray of light, always warmly accompanying me. When we were in high school, she pretended to be on a diet and pushed half of her delicious braised pork to me from her lunchbox. In college, she specifically bought a pair of shoes one size larger and deliberately made me wear them, making it impossible for me to return them. At that time, I thought she was a spoiled young lady and envied her deeply. It wasn't until 3 years ago when she called me crying hard, asking me to take her away, hoping to escape as far as possible. Only then did I realize she had married into a wealthy family following her mother. On the surface, she seemed to wear designer brands and eat gourmet food, but in reality, these were merely items of exchange. She was just a tool for her stepfather to elevate his status in the business world. That day, I waited for her at the agreed street corner for an entire day and night, shivering in the cold wind, but she never came. The next day, her phone number became disconnected, as if she had vanished from this world. It wasn't until Alex forcibly took me to that family gathering that I saw Lily again. She later told me with red eyes that her stepfather had found out about her plan to escape the marriage. Then she was locked in a dark room where she couldn't see her hands for a whole 7 days and nights, almost going insane before being let out. But she still held my hand tightly, trembling as she asked me, "Sophia, it was the middle of winter that day. Were you cold? Are you okay? I'm very sorry. I hope she can have a better life. I absolutely don't want her to suffer any more injustices. I'm powerless." After being caught by Alex, he threw me into his luxurious villa in the suburbs. I'm very familiar with this place. 2 years ago, when he first took an interest in me, he trapped me here, treating me like his pet. I never expected that deep within this manor, there was actually a basement. Inside, there were whips hanging, bottles of pepper spray, and the corners were filled with chains and handcuffs. I was so scared that my legs went weak, and I almost cried. Alex glanced at me and casually said, "Don't be afraid, these aren't for you. I just forgot to clean up." He stroked his chin and waved for someone to clear away that pile of things, then brought in a bunch of pink furniture. In the blink of an eye, that dark dungeon turned into a room filled with a girl's dreamy fantasies. He pinched my chin, smiling a bit coldly and a bit crazily, saying, "Sophia, it's been 2 years. Why are you still so disobedient? Last time, you had the audacity to jump out of the second-floor window to escape, so I had no choice but to lock you up here." I glared at him fiercely, my eyes filled with anger. "I must see Lily. If you disagree, then we are completely out of luck." Alex was as furious as a provoked beast. The toy in his hand even showed a displeased expression for another woman. For the past 2 years, I've been obediently staying at home. Every day was either enjoying life with Lily or shopping and chatting together. When I'm happy, I would smile at him too. Calming a grumpy big cat isn't really that difficult. But now, I've really had enough. He locked me up for half a month, taking away my phone, computer, and everything else that could connect me to the outside world. Do you realize your mistakes? What have I done wrong? Why do you still want to run away now? At first, he could still tolerate it, asking me a few questions every day. Later, he got completely angry, pinning me on the bed as soon as we met, constantly messing with me. I finally couldn't hold back. My tears flowed like a burst dam. "Are you still pining for Emily? She's back. What are you still looking for on me?" He was taken aback for a moment, his brows furrowed. "A substitute? What substitute? Are you filled with plot lines from novels?" I was so angry my eyes turned red. "Stop pretending. Who around you doesn't say I look like Emily?" He didn't say anything. He stood up, slowly put on his clothes, his expression as gloomy as a sky ready to rain. I was wondering if I had touched his sore spot. "Wait here." Then he closed the door and walked out. That night, he hurried back. He raised an eyebrow, gave a nonchalant smile, and said, "All right, I've dealt with those gossips, you can rest assured." I glanced at him, sneering, thinking, does covering your ears mean you didn't hear the bell? If I drive someone away, Does that mean I'm not a substitute? Don't be ridiculous. When did I ever say you were a substitute? His disguise was instantly exposed. He suddenly picked me up, like holding a kitten, wrapped me in his arms, and then leaned down to kiss me. His warm breath brushed against my lips, making it hard for me to catch my breath. His voice was somewhat muffled, as if he was struggling to speak. I really didn't expect you to be like this. I never thought you would be like her. That time I was framed by an opponent and got a minor injury. It wasn't a big deal, but a silly girl insisted on buying me iodine and gauze, and advised me not to mix in the circle anymore. Her voice gradually lowered, like the wind gently brushing past my ear, sounding as gentle as a dream. After a long time, she finally let go of me, her eyes filled with an enduring warmth. I pouted, nearly letting tears fall. Then can I see Lily? Sophia! He got angry again, gritting his teeth and saying, "You're really stubborn. Fine, since you only care about her and treasure her, I'll tell you, she's already dead." She was taken away by Evan when she was mentally unstable and fell to her death from the car. His roar was as loud as thunder, startling me. "What are you talking about? I don't believe it at all." Tears fell like pearls strung on a broken thread. This is the first time I've felt such fear and panic. Has Lily really passed away? She has always been my support, a good sister I could rely on. How could she just disappear like that? All right, if you don't believe me, I can take you to see the evidence. He snorted coldly, grabbing my wrist and pulling me outside. He put me in the car, stepped on the gas, and sped all the way to Dongshan Cemetery. It was drizzling outside, as if it were crying for me. In the distance, I saw Evan standing there, with Emily beside him. They were gathered around a tombstone. I couldn't see clearly what was written on it or who was in the photo, but Evan bent down seriously and placed a bouquet of white chrysanthemums. Lily, my legs suddenly lost strength, and I felt dizzy, collapsing directly to the ground. Alex immediately picked me up. There was some dissatisfaction in his voice as he said, "Sophia, do you really care about her this much? If I died, would you be this sad for me? I've cried so much that my voice is hoarse. What meaning does it hold for you to say that? Lily is gone, she's no longer here, and he has become very silent." After a while, his voice became hoarse, as if he was suppressing some emotion. He asked me, honestly, "Was the reason you insisted not to be with me because of Lily?" I recalled the excitement of reuniting with Lily 2 years ago. I gazed at the distant stone tablet and numbly nodded in agreement. "That's right, I don't want to be anyone's substitute. If it weren't for her, I would have left long ago." In that moment, it seemed I saw the light in his eyes suddenly extinguish. Like me, his heart felt heavy with no emotion at all. Since that day, I, Sophia Taylor, no longer cried out loud, resisted, or demanded to see Lily. At night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep, and during the day I couldn't eat a single bite. Within a few days, I fell ill. "Young master, Miss Sophia cannot continue like this. The doctor said she isn't eating, not even able to take her medicine. What should we do?" I vaguely heard my aunt, who was taking care of me, sounding anxious as she complained to Alex. "All right, you rest for a bit, I'll handle this." As soon as he finished speaking, a warm embrace surrounded me. His cool lips gently brushed against my forehead, and I instantly felt more awake. "Good girl Sophia, come have some porridge. Once you drink it, you can take your medicine, and then you won't feel unwell anymore." I've never heard Alex speak to me in such a gentle tone before. His voice was as light as a feather, not like a business mogul, but more like a teacher comforting a child. He fed me little by little with a small spoon. It felt like my parched throat finally got to drink warm rice soup, and I felt much better. I don't know how long it took, but he finally got me to take my medicine. Just like before, Alex held me in his arms from behind. His heartbeat was strong, and I could hear it. My eyelids felt as heavy as if they were weighted down with lead. I just wanted to sleep well. Actually, if Lily were still here, I would be willing to start over with you. But she has passed away. If I hadn't pulled her away, she wouldn't have encountered such a thing. It's all my fault. How could someone like me, burdened with heavy sins, possibly leave her behind and be happy on my own? I whispered, feeling like I was dreaming. The heartbeat behind me suddenly quickened, like a drum. The medication might have worked. I slept well all night. The next day, the fever was gone, and I felt a bit better. However, Alex wouldn't let me stay at home. He wrapped me up like a fur ball and took me out. I mumbled listlessly, not wanting to go anywhere. He smiled slightly and kissed my cheek. "Don't worry, this time it will be a surprise, and it won't disappoint you. It's really unexpected. Or should I say, it's a big fuss over nothing." That day, Lily, who seemed as still as a tombstone, was sitting blankly by the beach, staring into the distance. Next to her, Evan stood quietly, like a statue. "Lily?" I don't know where I got the strength, but I suddenly broke free from Alex and ran over to her. When she heard me call, she jumped up like a startled kitten and turned to look at me. "Wah wah wah, you're not dead. Wah wah wah, weren't you already dead?" Lily and I said this at the same time, and tears couldn't stop flowing down. Seeing the two embarrassed brothers beside us, Lily and I instantly understood. Alex scratched his head, smiled awkwardly, and said, "Hee, sorry, I'm just a bit jealous. I didn't expect my wife to leave with another woman." Evan's face showed an awkward expression as he said to Lily, "I'm sorry. I was confused just now and fell for my brother's bad idea." Alex was not happy to hear this, widening his eyes and saying, "Hey, how can you put the blame on me? This was clearly your idea. When the dog at home passed away, you still insisted it was Lily's funeral." Seeing the two of them about to come to blows, I quickly pulled Lily aside. "There's no way around it. You're just a pretender, but Emily is the true favorite." Lily's eyes finally had a hint of brightness. She shot a fierce glance at Evan in the distance, feeling quite displeased with his behavior in front of Emily. She thought to herself that she couldn't tolerate this any longer and needed to leave quickly. I thought for a moment, frowned, and said, "These two have a good relationship. We can't handle this alone." I secretly glanced at Alex. "I must ask him for help. I need to find him and send you away first. We can meet again when there's a chance." "This won't work. If Evan finds out," Lily quickly shook her head in disagreement. I grabbed her head and said seriously, "After all, I am his sister-in-law. With Alex around, I'm not afraid of him coming after me." So, the second version of the escape plan was put into action. What I didn't expect was, Alex's response was really straightforward. I specially wore a charming dress and prepared a candlelight dinner, thinking to attract him with beauty. To my surprise, he agreed right away. There was a sparkle of excitement in his eyes. While pouring the wine, I vaguely heard him mutter, "Haha, my rival is gone," and I couldn't help but curl my lips. Is this really what a business mogul should look like? Alex is quite reliable when it comes to getting things done. Not long after, the news of Lily's death spread. I heard she lost control of her emotions while climbing a mountain and jumped off a cliff. No shadows of the body were found at all. "Sophia, tell me quickly, how did Lily actually die?" I specifically hid at Alex's estate to pick grapes, but Evan still found me. This is the first time I've seen him like this. The usually serious Evan now has messy hair like a bird's nest. His face is pale to the point of being frightening, and his shirt buttons are all crooked. He has always been very polite to me, even respectful when he calls me sister-in-law, but today he just called me by my name directly. I sniffled, and tears immediately welled up. You have no idea how much she hated you and Emily's situation. Thinking about Lily's past, a wave of sorrow hit me, and tears kept streaming down. It really hurts. Her mother didn't love her, her biological father was a gambler, and her stepfather only saw her as a tool for marriage. Whoever truly cared for her? Evan, you are truly a disappointing person. If you didn't love her, why did you marry her in the first place? The Williams family is so powerful. Why rely on her to gain some benefits? I pointed at him, my hand shaking with anger. Since your friend came back, she's been through a lot of unfair treatment. Emily acts one way in front of you and another behind your back. You've never said a fair word for her. She has so much pent-up frustration with no outlet, and all her suffering is what you all made her endure. I thought he would angrily refute me. Unexpectedly, he just stared at me blankly and said, "You're right. I was wrong. I'm the one who harmed her." I realized that due to my identity, I couldn't be with Emily before, and I've always felt guilty towards her. This time she came back. I want to be a good brother and make it up to her. But why am I so foolish to ignore Lily for Emily? His voice choked with emotion, and tears flowed down his face. I didn't marry her for any political alliance. I became interested in her at a gathering years ago, and I've turned down many women over the years just hoping to be with her. I've been so foolish to believe that love doesn't need to be expressed. That's complete nonsense. If you like someone, you should express it loudly. Evan cried like a child and stumbled away. In the coming months, there are rumors that he has given up a lot of work, even losing several major clients, resulting in significant losses. There are also rumors on the street that the second young lady of the Williams family chose to jump off a cliff in despair over Emily's situation, which led to the breakdown of her marriage. The stock price of the Williams family has been falling. I never expected that the usually calm Evan would become so devastated by Lily's death. I couldn't help but take out my phone and send a message to Lily, suggesting that she should let him know she's safe. You've already run to the other side of the world, he can't find you, and it feels quite pitiful for him. But after sending the message, it was like throwing it into the sea. There was no response at all. Strangely, just the night before, she was chatting happily with me until midnight. Could it be that she is also feeling confused and doesn't know how to respond to me? I was frowning in thought. Suddenly, a loud noise erupted, making my ears feel the vibration. The door was kicked open forcefully, and a person rushed in. What are you doing here? Why did you kick my door? I was so scared that I nearly jumped up. Evan, whom I haven't seen in a long time, has lost some weight, but he still carries that noble aura, his clothes neat as if freshly ironed. But the way he looked at me was so cold it made me shiver involuntarily. He didn't say a word and just grabbed my arm, pulling me outside. Though he usually appears elegant, his strength is comparable to Alex's, and I couldn't break free at all. He dragged me straight to the airport and onto his private jet. Once the plane was in the air, he still didn't say a word and didn't tell me where we were going. I felt extremely nervous, my voice trembling like a sieve. He couldn't really want me to accompany Lily, could he? He glanced at me with a slight cold smile and finally said, "Good sister-in-law, I don't have the guts for that. I worked hard to find Lily. You haven't seen each other for so long. She must miss you a lot." I had really underestimated Evan before. I don't know what method he used, but he managed to find Lily's hiding place. Upon meeting, the usually steady man held Lily in his arms, tears streaming down his face uncontrollably. He said, "Darling, do you know how sad I've been these past few months? If I can't find you again, I really want to reunite with you." Lily frowned, pushed him away, and irritably said, "Let's talk properly. Don't cling to me like gum." The more she struggled, the more Evan clung to her like an inescapable adhesive. I was on the side, with no chance to interject. After finding Lily, he didn't even catch his breath and immediately took us on a plane, rushing back. Oh, I spent over 30 hours on the plane. I really couldn't take it anymore. My motion sickness kicked in, and I felt like my soul was about to fly away. Not to mention all the troubles on the way. Evan sat in the back seat, chattering like a chatterbox, expressing his longing for Lily, and swearing never to look at Emily again. I listened for over 10 hours and really had enough. Finally, the plane landed, and I was back on solid ground. I felt extremely dizzy, and my stomach was grumbling nonstop. I stretched, wanting to get my body moving. Just as I was starting to feel a little better from the stretch, a big hug from behind suddenly took my breath away. I was so scared that I almost shouted out, but then I heard Alex calling my name with a sob. "Sophia, you're finally back." I was so worried. I thought that brother would be a threat to you. If the plane hadn't been unable to land, I would have really wanted to fly one myself to find you. I sighed helplessly and patted his head as he yelled behind me, "It's okay. I'm doing fine. It's just that our second escape plan has failed again."